Viewer discretion advised. Welcome to the first episode of Seagal Sunday, kids. I might cover all of Steven Seagal's films from Above the Law to, Beyond the Law, or this might be the only episode I ever do. We'll see where the road takes us. Today's movie is Out for a Kill. This is high on the list of titles that make me want to say fiddle-dee-dee. Oh, fiddle-dee-dee, I am out for a kill. I know what you're trying to do here, movie. Two of Steven Seagal's most popular movies are Out for Justice and Hard to Kill. You're trying to get me mixed up so I buy the wrong DVD. Speaking of titles, what in the 2003 Microsoft clip art is this monstrosity of a title font? Just terrible. Is there a worse one out there? Comment below if you know a movie with a worse title font than Out for a Kill. It's amazing to me how fast the fall was for Seagal. He never was a huge star. Well, I guess he's huge in a way, but he never was a box office draw. But in 2001, he starred in the Joel Silver-produced Exit Wounds, which was a legitimate hit that opened #1 at the box office. Just 2 years later, he's in this bottom-of-the-barrel trash that skipped theaters altogether. The opening scene confuses me greatly. Some Chinese gangsters shoot up a nightclub in painful slow motion to get the movie to 90 minutes. Two detectives, Tommy and Ed, show up to inspect the damage. Here's my problem. Later on in the movie, the investigation takes the two to the same nightclub and they act like they're visiting it for the first time. It's very strange. Did they run out of money and had to unexpectedly reuse the set maybe? There's no way in the world of the movie that would be reopened so quickly. The place was shot to heck. Anyway, Out for a Kill wants you to know that Jesus is the light of the world. This is true, but I don't think you're scoring any points with the big guy making this dirty movie though. The Chinese gangsters meet up in a boardroom in Paris, and here we get one of my least favorite early 2000s cliches. It's the freeze frame with the name and specialty. This is a cliche because real character development is difficult and because some movies need a little help getting to 90 minutes. Okay, this guy is Silo, heroin trafficker, front is laundromat, got it, okay. The Bird, drugs and gambling. Makes sense. I can see why we needed to get that information across to the audience. The auto racing, skydiving, French restaurants, and strip clubs I think we really didn't need to waste time on. These gangster meetings are an amusing aspect of the movie that I appreciate. There are just so many and they easily could have all been emails. It's just funny to me to picture these gangsters flying from across the world to be there for the daily meeting and likely leaving some important crime stuff undone. The boss is just there wasting everyone's time with his rambling nonsense. It's truly silly. Well, Steven shows up next. Kind of. He plays archaeologist Professor Robert Burns because, sure. One fun thing to do is count how many times Steven talks off-screen because he's too lazy to say his lines. The ADR doesn't even sound like him half the time.
Ancient Chinese emperors used to store the ashes and spirits of their loved ones in these. They used to be used in Jinshao in the Jinshang processions of the Third Dynasty. I'd like to thank my loving wife Maya, dedicated assistant Yi and her father, my mentor, Professor Liu Zhong. Without them, I wouldn't be here today.
We do get to see him with his Academy Award he won for the movie, though. Still a more deserving win than Sean Penn for one battle after another. Steven and his partner are on a dig in the western border of China. Steven senses something fishy is going on when he finds drugs in the artifacts. Turns out these archaeologists are really Chinese gangsters. Even though they step on the merchandise, they still seem more believable archaeologists than Seagal. Our heroes try to flee, but some slow-motion 2003 Matrix bullets end Steven's partner abruptly. I realize how bad these effects are, but I find this shot strangely satisfying to watch. Framed for a crime he didn't commit, Steven is sent to prison. His missus hears the news and dramatically drops her mug. Okay, points for keeping the mug intact and avoiding the old breaking mug cliche. Our two detectives from earlier get him out and he's able to attend his partner's funeral where he speaks with her father. Anyway, this episode of Seagal Sunday is brought to you by Windex. Can you guys do the ad read for me?
A mind is a mirror, a bright light shining. Be sure to clean it every day. Allow no dust to cling.
There is no mirror. There is no dust, there is no darkness. Only the mind's light.
SC Johnson, a family company.
There's a completely unjustified firework display and Steven is ambushed by men with swords. This guy gets hit lightly and politely waits for Steven to finish with his buddy. Well, that didn't work, so the gang has another meeting, and they decide to send some guys to rough up Steven and his wife at a restaurant. This is where he makes an important announcement.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Steven Seagal is out for a poo. I wouldn't go in there for a while.
Sir.
Steven beats these guys too, and I might as well bring up the tattoo thing. Everyone he kills in the movie has a Chinese character tattooed on them, and it all comes together to form something very stupid in the end. Well, because one dead woman isn't enough to get Steven off of his lazy butt, we have two dead women when the gang blows up his wife.
Robert.
Seagal reminds us why he's an Oscar winner in front of some truly dreadful green screen. Man, this green screen is so bad it makes Expendables 4 look like Avatar. Or I assume so anyway. I haven't seen Avatar. I think I might not have my priorities straight.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand.
Seagal figures out that his pilot to the dig betrayed him, so he interrogates him while flying his plane. The detectives watch from a green screen room. The plane crashes because Steven put it over the weight limit. The pilot tells Seagal to check out this barbershop in Chinatown. The detectives follow closely.
Think we should go in together?
Forget it, Tommy. It's Chinatown.
Oh yeah, that's a much better movie. Let's watch that. Here we get the movie's most famous scene. Not many people talk about Out for a Kill, of course, but when they do, it's to bring up the action scene that Seagal fights while in a chair. I really don't find this criticism very fair. He's in the chair because he wants the goons to think he's there for a haircut, and he's only there for a few seconds. The real head-scratcher here is why the filmmakers decided to make this a wire-fu scene when the rest of the movie contains no wire-fu. I guess The Matrix was a very popular movie in 2003, kids. By this time, the movie's got a bit of a rhythm going. Steven defeats some gangsters, gets a clue as to where the next one is, defeats that one while the detectives follow him. Repeat. He defeats the Mahjong guy after a car chase that's no good, but not outrageously terrible. He defeats the laundry guy too after a game of patty cake. Well, the boardroom is looking rather empty, which is a darkly humorous image to the movie's credit. Time for our big boss fight. Here's where the stupid twist of the movie takes place. Steven puts together all of the tattoos of the men he killed and finds out that the big boss planned the whole thing out from the start. This is so Seagal could kill all the other Chinese crime families so he'd be the only one left. I say, that's asinine. How could you know this one guy who's just been an archaeologist for the past several years would be such an effective one-man army? If you were counting on him being so powerful, why didn't you plan better for when he inevitably got to you? Throwing a dinky bomb in the corner and running away is a stupid plan. You're not even armed. Here the laziness kind of comes to a head. You expect a solid martial arts throwdown for the ending of your Seagal movie. Here's what Out for a Kill gives us. Lazy. Pretty funny, but definitely lazy. Well, Mrs. Seagal has her funeral, and that's Out for a Kill. A truly terrible movie. Seagal is putting in the bare minimum effort. It's gross and sleazy. The action is cheap looking and tacky, and the worst aspect is how chaotically edited it all is. Still, as someone who has seen a lot of Seagal movies, I have to say this: most of his direct-to-video output is lame, generic, and forgettable. Amidst all of these, Out for a Kill stands out as memorable in its badness. this. I don't remember a thing about End of a Gun or A Good Man, for example, but I won't forget the wire fu, the house explosion, or the sword decapitation at the end if I live to be 100. I'll give Out for a Kill a 2 out of 10.